There's one thing that once it's tarnished, you can't get back, and it's your reputation. Your reputation drives everything. And once you lose your reputation, you might as well move to a new country and learn a new language and start over from scratch, right? Because once you get that bad rep, it's game over. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Credit Junkies podcast. Today, I am joined by Tiffini Watts from Optimal Score Solution. Tiffini, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm very excited for our conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time. Let's jump right in. Tell me a little bit, how long have you been in the credit repair industry?
Well, I've been in the industry for about 3 or 4 years, 3.5 years. I started with a network marketing, multi-level marketing company that I was just, an affiliate for. Mm-hmm. But I branched out on my own, started my own company August of 2022.
When you first joined the network marketing company, what made you want to join that instead of just doing your own thing?
I didn't know. Well, number one, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't really know, how to do credit repair. Mm-hmm. This company offered all the bells and whistles. All you have to do is bring us the people and we'll do the rest. Mm-hmm. So it was easy. It just seemed like an easy thing for me, a no-brainer. I wanted to make money, and it was like I said, you only bring us the people and we do everything else. So it just seemed like the ideal thing.
Yeah, and it was ideal for a couple of years, right?
For a minute, it was working okay for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So then what made you take the jump to branch out on your own?
That company got into some legal issues, and everybody's business shut down for a few months. But if I'm branding myself as the business owner, then I have to tell my clients, oh, well, I can't help you. And I literally couldn't help them because I didn't know how to do credit repair. I didn't know how to do the disputes. I didn't know anything about the credit repair industry. I was just an affiliate, but I was branding myself as the business owner, as the person helping you with your credit. And it was just, I felt like it just didn't seem, authentic.
Yeah.
It just seemed like I was like, now I have to go back and tell all of my clients, oh yeah, I need you to continue paying, but I can't help you for 3-4 months until this legal thing is over with, Now my business is affected. My reputation is on the line, my everything. So I'm like, you know what? If I had control, if I had my own business and I knew how to do the disputes myself, then I wouldn't have to pause my business because of someone else's legal problems. Right. So I just decided to do it on my own. I started to learn the process and just learned how to do it on my own.
That's interesting. It's a tough situation to be in when your destiny is left in somebody else's hands, right? Yeah. You wake up one day and be like, oh, we actually can't do anything anymore, but clients got to keep paying. Well, that's
exactly. So it was it was a hard conversation to have with my clients, especially the ones who had just signed up like a week ago.
Yeah.
And and so about that money you paid me last week, it was embarrassing,
Yeah, and there's one thing that once it's tarnished, you can't get back, and it's your reputation.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that we have most dear to us in business. Whether you're doing network marketing, affiliate, or your own business, your reputation drives everything, literally everything. And once you lose your reputation, you might as well move to a new country and learn a new language and start over from scratch, right? Because once you get that bad rep, it's game over, So it's one of those things that you really just got to take gentle care of. I've been at this for over a decade, right? 11, 12 years now. And the one thing that I've always cared about is my reputation. Like, yeah, you're going to have upset customers. Yeah, you're going to have happy customers. Yeah, you're going to mess up. You're human, right? But being your authentic self is the best way for you to preserve your reputation, right? Because if you try to be fake and you're not yourself, then you can only be fake for so long. People will eventually see right through you, right? And when you're not owning what you're doing, it's almost as if you're being fake because you didn't have control over the legal situation. You didn't have control over the credit files, right? So like you literally put your reputation on someone else's hands and it was dangerous, right? So I think that's
right.
Woke up today, you're like, I need to figure this out.
Harrison, it was ridiculous. And like I said, it was extremely embarrassing too, because my name is on this. You know, these clients, you know, we all know, big people in business know that clients join you, not the company. So it's like they're like, hey, I trusted you. I don't care what they're going through. Like you said you could help me. So it was so tough. Like, I'm like, you know what? This will never happen again, you know? So
people by people. So good for you that you made that jump. Now let's back up for a second. Talk to me about life before credit repair. What were you doing before you even got into the industry with the network marketing company?
So before credit repair, I was just like a normal person. You know, I had a 9-to-5. I had a.
You're not a normal person anymore?
Well, you know, I am. But, you know,
you're a little bit elevated now.
About that part later. But I was just like a regular person, like, you know, a regular 9-to-5, getting caught in the morning traffic, you know, trying to hustle and bustle, trying to figure it out type person. You know, I had an excellent job. I had an excellent job at the Air Force Base. You know, I'm a military veteran. So I had this really cushy job as a medical records kind of supervisor. I mean, I kind of supervise all of the medical records at the Air Force Base. I have my little office with my little pictures on the wall and my desk. And I'm like, this is awesome. You know, it's an excellent job, right? Good money, privacy, you know, no one over my shoulder, just kind of, it was a really great job. The problem, and then he would be like, okay, if your job was so great, why'd you want to do this, right? The problem with that is I was also a mother. I was also a wife. I also had to get the kids to school in the morning. So while I had to be to work at 8 o'clock, I had to get up at 3 o'clock, you know, to get everybody ready and out on time. And then I got off at 4 or 5 o'clock. Well, the kids got out of school at 3 o'clock. So what do you do there? You know, I had to figure that part out. So I wound up having to hire a nanny and have someone pick the kids up. And when there was time for family vacations, the kids would have to go without me because I didn't have the time to take off work. You know, the story of people's lives, you know. Then it got to the point to where I was like, it's a 45-minute commute to work. My paychecks were okay, but half of it was on gas, you know, getting back and forth to work. And the other half was on paying the nanny to pick the kids up after school. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So it was horrible. Like, it was a wonderful job, amazing. Oh, I have all the titles and all the stuff, but I didn't have the freedom.
The time.
I didn't have the time. You know, I didn't have the money. You know, it was great to get up and get my makeup on and this pretty little suit and go into my little private office and work all day. Yeah. But what about my family? You know, what about my money? What about family vacations? You know?
So why credit repair? Like, you saw an outlet in the credit repair, right, in the network marketing. But I mean, there's so many different types of network marketing out there. I mean, you could have been selling, you know, like Beachbody or all these other, you know, skincare stuff, Mary Kay, all these different types of network marketing things. Why credit repair? Like, you saw an outlet, you're like, all right, I got to do something different. So let me get into credit repair. Why that?
Well, funny you ask. I actually did do all of those other things. Even while I was working my 9-to-5, I knew that wasn't it, you know? Yeah. So I was a travel agent. I was in all of these different things. I, at one point, had 7 businesses, including credit repair, legal shield, all the things, all of these network marketing. The problem I ran into was that you couldn't focus on, I wasn't growing in any of them. You hear the gurus and the leaders and the people that are making the millions of dollars in that one network marketing company. But you also hear them saying, this is the only one I promote. This is where my focus is at. Well, me, the shiny ball syndrome person, I was like, well, you are making $1 million that I can't do what you do, but this person just made $10,000 in crypto. So I'm going to go see what they're doing over there. You know, oh, well, that person just made $10,000 on booking cruises. I'm going to go see what they're doing over there too. So at one point I had 7 businesses while working that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What made me stop and focus on just credit repair was, again, remember I said half my paycheck was going on gas. The other half was going on the nanny to pick the kids up from school and take them to after school activities. So I didn't, and my husband was working at that time. We were not 6-figure earners. So we were working 9 to 5s. And I needed money. So I was going out and trying to apply for loans and stuff. I couldn't get approved. Like my credit was horrible. Yeah. I couldn't get approved. And it was like, what? I need this money to pay this bill because I don't have, my paycheck just hit. And now I'm down to $20 in one day because I just paid everybody else. And it's like, but how am I going to, how am I going to get food? How am I going to do this? Yeah. So I was trying to get loans, personal loans, and I didn't qualify because my credit was horrible. So I was like, okay, here I am, 37 years old with bad credit. Like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, I had to figure that part out. So I started working on my own credit. I got my own credit where it needed to be. Then I realized that I started thinking, how many other people are in this situation? How many other people are mid-30s, midlife, and they're like, what have I done with the first half of my life? Like, what's going on here? So I decided to start to really research. I didn't want to do this network marketing thing anymore. I wanted to own everything. I wanted to own my time, own my business, own who I accept as a customer, who I don't. Then I decided to branch out and start focusing only on credit repair.
Good for you.
Just this.
How did you learn to do
everything
that?
Else.
How did you learn to do that? Like, because you were involved with a network marketing company, I'm sure that their training was pretty much useless because all they cared about is bring us the people, we'll do everything else. So from going from that to now, I have to do everything. I'm responsible for everything. I need to know how to do everything. How did you learn to start your own credit repair business apart from some network marketing company or somebody else?
Well, when I reached that midlife crisis situation where I was like desperate for money and couldn't figure out how to get it besides working for someone else or getting a second job, which I didn't already have time because, the first job, I'm like, I can't, this isn't going to be a problem here. So I reached out on Facebook, right? And I said, listen, I need a life coach. Like, I need somebody that's going to help me figure out life, like in general. And someone recommended or tagged Ashley Grayson. Well, she was Mathengale at the time. And so I was like, hey, let me check her out. So I went on her page. I checked her out, saw that she had this awesome, amazing credit coaching or some type of program. So I joined her program, and I had no idea. I had an idea, but I didn't really know how to do it. Yeah. I saw other people with their own credit repair companies, but I thought they were just, getting customers and writing the letters. I didn't know there was a whole platform, a whole system behind it. I didn't know that. So when I joined Ashley's course, I learned about the CRM. I learned about the companies, the outsourcing, the different things I can do to run a successful company. And from her course, I branched out and started my own.
Nice. So you found good training that gave you the blueprints, everything that you needed, and you just followed it, and you were able to catapult yourself into the beginning stages of your business, right? Absolutely. Now, I'm sure that it hasn't all been flowers and rainbows and unicorns since you started, right? So talk about some of the things that, some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome since deciding that, I'm going to do this for myself. What are like the top 2 or 3 things that you had to work really hard to overcome?
Even though I had this dynamic training, I still didn't feel qualified because, again, I wasn't doing everything. I was just referring people and they were doing everything. Yeah. So now you go from referring people and just continuing to work your 9 to 5 to now you're having to do you find the people like you've been doing, but you also have to onboard them, and you also have to do this part, and you have to do the consultation, and you have to, and like, I didn't know that it was so much work behind it. And And I almost was like, you know what, this is overwhelming. And I didn't feel like I knew how to do it. It was like more like an imposter syndrome. Like, I feel like I have these people trusting me to do something that I literally just learned 2 months ago. Like, they think I'm this guru, and I'm like, no, I'm still brand new. Like, I don't really know. I'm still learning. And so that's one hurdle. That was the main thing, is building my confidence. And then I wasn't pricing myself high enough. Like, I was still in that, network marketing mindset. I'm like, $99 one time, and I'll help you forever. It's like, Tiffini, what in the world are so
how did you overcome the imposter syndrome?
It's gonna sound funny, but more training. I paid for more training, you know what I'm saying? So I found a dynamic sales coach who taught me, how to go through the sales script, how to go through from brand new from Facebook person to sending to them, giving me their credit card number, and how to do it confidently. So I had paper in front of me. I still have paper in front of me, like literally. I'm script, so my sales coach gave me this fantastic script that I could use so that I don't have to be fumbling over my words and trying to find the words. I don't have to do that anymore. I have what I need to say right here in front of me. And so now I just read, and it's not just reading like, oh, I'm reading this book, word, No, I practice that script. I get on a call with my sales coach weekly. We do role plays. I mean, it's just more conditioning and pouring into myself knowledge-wise. And I just kept practicing until it was like, I can do this script without the paper. I still have the paper, as you can see, but I can do it without it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, you just made sure you acquired more knowledge, and that helped you overcome the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that you were starting to talk about was what? You said disputes?
Yeah, disputes. Because again, remember I said I was brand new. Like, I had came out the gate, and I'm like, okay, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I know I need to do this. Now I've done this. Okay, I paid all the stuff, and I got all the system in place. Now, like, okay, get clients, Tiffini, like, go and get people. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know what to do. Like, even though I had this knowledge and I knew what to do, it's like, I don't know what to do. It's like I froze. And then I had to just start. I'm like, okay, you're not confident in the disputes yet because you just literally started doing them. So I started to research some more. And like, there's people who do these for you. There's dispute teams out here for that reason. And so I reached out, and I found a dynamic dispute team that started to do my disputes for me. And so now it's like, so you really just pretty much built the same system that the network marketing company had,
Said you own it now.
Built the same system, except it's yours now, right?
Yeah.
Now I can still do my recruiting like I was doing. And instead of sending them to the outsourcing, the network marketing, I'm sending them directly to my outsourcing team. My dispute team, and I have access to them, and I can ask them questions, and I can understand if it's something I don't know. I can ask them now. With the other company, I didn't have that. I didn't know who to call to ask questions. Now I can call my dispute team and like, hey, or email them and say, what's up? What happened here? So it was excellent. Just to learn that was an option for me. Yeah.
What do you know now? Right. So, when did you branch out on your own? Because you were with the network marketing for a couple of years, and then you started your own thing. When was that?
So I started to learn and started researching how to start my own thing around, I'd say, February, March of 2022. Okay. Then I took that, and then in August of 2022 is when I said I had everything in place except the dispute team, Right. And I'm like, okay, so now I have everything here. That was August of 2022. It took a minute for me to get started because I was still scared, because now I own all this stuff, and now what, So December of 2022 is when my business really, really started. I mean, it was on paper started in August of 2022, but December is when it really started.
When you really started. Yeah. So just for context, I don't know when you're watching this or when you're listening to this, today's May 2023. So it's been about 5 to 6 months since you really, all right, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to take it seriously. So it's been about 5-6 months since it finally decided, I got everything I need. I'm going to take it seriously now.
Yeah.
What do you know now that you wish you knew back then when you were first getting started, right? Like if you could hop in a time machine and go back to Tiffini in February, March, or even up to August of 2022, what would you say to yourself?
You don't have to know everything. Like I didn't move and I didn't get started because I felt like I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to do these disputes and I have to get these disputes perfect. So I can't start until I do another training on disputes. And I can't start until I do another training on this. And then I can't start until I do another training on that part. And I'm like, you know what? And that's what I did from August to December. I'm like looking for all these different trainings so I can become the expert before, I can get anybody. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like there are people like yourself who have been doing this for 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, who have a dispute team that's already in place, that's already doing all of this. So I would tell myself, you don't have to know everything. It's okay if you don't know how to do the disputes. There are people who does.
Yeah.
While they're doing your disputes over there, you can go ahead and take that class, but let them start on your disputes now. Like you don't have to wait until you already know disputes to hire someone, have systems in place. People that are, listen, you don't know how to close. You're not that great at closing deals. Hire someone who knows how to close, like hire help. There's a doctor that went to medical school for a reason because he's a doctor. If I could heal myself and take care of myself, then I would.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to and I could pay someone else to heal me and take care of me, then that's what I'm going to do, Yeah. So that's what I would tell myself. Listen, you don't have to know everything. You don't not have to know how to do everything.
Yeah.
You can still get this job done. You can still run your business a profitable way by hiring other people to do it. And if you must know it, train yourself while your business is running.
Yeah. It's funny. I've had maybe 10 or a little over 10 of these conversations with other business owners, and everybody gives them that same advice to their old selves. Imperfect action is what we're calling it. Take action. Imperfect action is better than no action.
Yeah.
Right? You get this, you get paralyzed because like you're scared to take a step, but just take a step. And then when you look back, you realize that you took 25 steps and you're so much further ahead now with imperfect action than you would have been waiting to be perfect, right? So talk about, where's your business today? Like, how are you doing today?
Well, from when I took action, I was like, okay, it seems like when I was marketing for that other company, I was like a guru beast mode.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going hard for you. But when I joined and I started my own, it's like I didn't do that for myself. So I was not having the leads that I needed to have come into my business because this is a numbers game. So I decided, again, I'm not a guru with marketing. I hired a marketing team. I'm not a guru with disputes. I hired a dispute team. So I went from December having maybe 3 clients in my brand new business to by March, I had 50.
Wow. Congratulations.
I had 50 clients by March. By March, I had made my first 5-figure month.
Nice.
So it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of work. It was, okay, I know I did this whole thing about I didn't have time for my family and I didn't have all this. But when I started working, like really working, when those leads started coming in, I realized that I was still working a whole bunch of hours.
You work more for yourself. Right. That's the thing that a lot of people think, I'm going to be my own boss. I work when I want, however I want. Yeah, that's true. But your business is not going to get anywhere if you're not putting in more hours into your business than you're put in for somebody else. And you realize that, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy because my leads came in so fast. And I was like, right now, before this podcast, I have 20 people to talk to. When I get off of this podcast, I'm getting 20 to 30 people a day.
That's awesome.
Right now, today.
How are you marketing? How are you getting these leads?
My marketing team. I have an amazing marketing team who does Facebook ads for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Facebook ads and then word of mouth from my other 50 clients that I already have, over 50. Actually, it's like 55 now. they also bring their friends and family. So I get text messages from them. Hey, call my aunt, call my mom, call my sister.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool, so I have those leads, and then I have my own family who refer people. Then I have my marketing team who does Facebook ads. So I'm getting like 30 people a day. And then I have I'm partnered with a apartment manager who gets all these people that get declined because they don't have the get credit of the apartment. So I have his leads calling me too. So it's like, I have leads, I have people to talk to. Yeah. So it's not a problem. And so closing 1 or 2 a day is easy because I have so many people to talk to.
Most credit repair business owners tell me that the biggest problem they have in their business today is getting leads. And it really kind of blows my mind a little bit that that's true, because I think I've said this in other episodes, but you can throw a rock and you can hit somebody with bad credit. Like they're literally everywhere. So how is it that you're having difficulty getting leads? Well, literally every 8 out of 10 people are potentially your customers. I have this new program that we're rolling out now in the month of June. It's called the CRO Bootcamp, where you join the bootcamp. It's directly done with me. And I tell you, 100 clients in 100 days guaranteed, or I will work with you for free until you do. Like, that's how confident I am that I can help any credit repair business owner, whether you're just getting started or you're already established. You can get 100 paying customers in 100 days guaranteed, or I'm going to work with you for free until you do. Like, that's how confident I am that leads are not the problem. Like, there's so much more to running a credit repair business, and leads should be the last thing that you're worried about, right? You should be worried about what you said, structure. You got to have systems in place, and you got to have a team in place. These are the things that a business owner needs to worry about. It's like, let me structure my business. Getting customers should not be remotely a difficulty in your business. That should be the easiest part of your business.
Yeah.
You seem like you overcome that hurdle already that many credit repair companies are still trying to overcome, which is getting leads. So now that is not your problem, what would you say is your biggest difficulty in business today?
The biggest difficulty in business right now is finding help. Seriously, because right now it's just me. And again, I have 30 people to talk to today. Taking days off is hard for me now. I'm like, oh gosh, like yesterday I took Memorial Day off, and I'm like, I'm seeing all these leads come in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't, it's like, I want to talk to them so bad, but I was like, no, I gotta take a day off.
Yeah.
Because I will work every single day. Like I will, and I enjoy it. I want to work every single day because I have so many people that need my help, and it's like, oh my gosh. But I was thinking like, dang, I want to take today off, but if I had a team, another team, I have a marketing team, I have a sales coach, I have a dispute team, I have all these teams. Now I need another team to help me when I want to take a day off.
Right now, you're a business owner, but you're still self-employed. Like, you're still an employee. The difference is you're an employee of your business, which is much better than being an employee of somebody else's business, right? But the next level for you now is to start replacing yourself.
Got it. Yeah, I want to clone myself. So right now I'm working with Brittany. Well, I'm not working with Brittany, but I've spoken with Brittany with I Need a VA. So I'm working towards finding the perfect virtual assistant to help me. Another issue that I'm running into is, and I'm sure that this is the story of every credit repair owner's life, people who schedule consultations who don't come to the consultation, right? So, if I had a VA or someone that can confirm and make sure that these people are going to be there, I won't be wasting slots because I have a lot of people to talk to. So, it's just a matter now of finding a system there, another system, because I love systems now. Yeah. It's another system I have to find there to get the help I need to operate, whether I'm sitting in front of my computer, on my phone, or not. I want to be able to continue to operate even if I take a vacation with my family. Yeah. So that's where I am now.
And it's good that you didn't rush that process, right? Like, you need to be able to know how to do every task in your business before you hire somebody or outsource it to somebody. Because how can you properly manage something that you've never done yourself, right? Like, even me in my business today, Everything that my business does, I did first myself, not once or twice, for a good little while, because I needed to have enough experience with it, so not only I can hire and train the right person for the job, but then I can manage them, right? How can I say you're not doing good enough if I wasn't even able to do what they're doing? So for you, you're finally reaching that place in your business where it's like, it's getting overwhelming because it's too much for one person to handle. So now it's the perfect time. Like, you've had enough experience in dealing with all of these things. So now you can properly hire somebody, train them. Here's what you're going to encounter. Here's what you're going to experience. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. And slowly but surely start removing yourself from the day-to-day operations and truly be CEO of your business, where you're just like a choir director. You're not singing, you're just directing, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm excited for this next phase of your business for you. I know it's not easy. Every part of business is hard work, but it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And so my sales coach gave me a challenge. He said, you know what? Because even today, I'm like, okay, I can't get on consultations because I have to stop. I have to go pick the kids up. I have to go take them to after school activity. And he said, no, what we're going to do is hire somebody. Like, I'm back like I was working my 9 to 5. Yeah. You're going to hire somebody to pick them up from school. You're going to hire somebody and you're going to stop for 90 days and you're going to just focus on your business. And that's it. Like, you're not going to do anything except that. And I'm like, oh, this is back when I was working at the Air Force base. It's like,
yeah,
I can't, I got to hire somebody to pick the kids up again. Like, that's why I got away from that, because I didn't want to do that. But when you're running your business, you have to make those sacrifices. And I was making the sacrifice for somebody else's business. And now I have to make a sacrifice for myself.
You're making an investment, right? And with investments, you get a return, hopefully, on your investment, right? So it's not like you're just burning the money. Oh, somebody's got to go pick up my kids. Yeah, somebody's got to go pick up my kids while I'm investing in my business, so that 90 days from now, I can pick up my kids and not worry about not taking a consultation instead.
There you go. Yep, there you have it. Because after 90 days of fully focused, nothing else, I've looked up and I'm at 6 figures and now I can hire 10 people. That's like, okay, cool. So I'm good,
That's awesome. So last question, what advice would you give to someone who may be considering starting their own credit repair business or maybe just getting started? What is like your number one advice that you'd give to that person?
Well, the first thing I would advise anybody who is considering going into this industry, anybody who's thinking about it or who's already there, who's brand new, and you just got started. Remember, I'm still brand new. I literally just got over that fear and really just took that first step in December. What I would advise you to do is, number one, take that step. Like, also, most important thing I can tell anybody, especially if you're like me, who feels like you have to know everything before you do anything, you have to understand that there are people that remember back to my doctor comment. Those doctors went to medical school for 12 years to be able to do what you don't know how to do. You can't heal yourself. If you don't know how to do something, it's okay. There are companies, there are people. Bruce has an amazing dispute team. He has listen, I use Bruce's system. I don't know what I would do without systems. Okay. It's okay to find a system or someone who already has a system that works. Use the systems that are already in place by people who are already where you want to be. It's okay to not know everything off the top. Learn as you go. But the worst thing you could do is not do anything until you know everything, because you will never move. August to December, I did not move because I felt like I had to know every single step of every single thing. And I missed out on thousands of dollars because guess what? When I did move, I hit my first 5-figure month. Now, I don't know about you, but 5 figures every month.
Cha-ching.
Some people are making 6 figures a month, okay? I'm just at 5. And that's changed my life. But I wouldn't be there if I didn't take the step and I didn't realize I'm not the best sales coach. I'm not the best closer. I found someone who could close and taught me how to do it. I'm not the best at disputes because I'm just learning. I found a dispute team that's been doing this for 13 years and they did my disputes for me. I'm not the best at marketing on Facebook. I found a marketing team that does. Now, everybody can't come out the door spending that kind of money. I realize it. I get it. Everybody can't come out the door and buy a marketing team, buy a dispute team, buy this, buy that. But the worst thing you can do is nothing. So when you learn something, I don't care if you like CRC, the company that my CRM, they have an amazing training that teaches you how to get your first clients. Use that. It's free. They teach you how to do it for free. Use that free training that they give you. Well, it's not a free training, but it's free advice on how to get your first clients.
Yeah.
Use that method, post, talk about, become the expert. If you learn something, go live and share it. I don't care if you just learned it 10 minutes ago. Go live and talk about it, because at some point, you're going to become the expert in everybody else's eyes, whether you believe you're the expert or not. And then you're going to start getting clients just because of that.
Some great advice. That's really great advice. Don't wait until you feel like you know everything to do anything, because you're just not going to do anything. That's great advice. You want to put me on the spot? Is there anything that you want to ask me? Any questions? Any burning questions? I
haven't even thought about it. But if I know you are further along than I am, because I still consider myself a baby, and I've learned all the stuff. You know, I've dealt with the difficult clients who cursed me out, and because they didn't get 10 bankruptcies deleted in the first month of working with me. I've had those clients. I've dealt with all the stuff, and you've been where I am now. So I would ask you, even at where I am, I'm still learning. What advice would you give me to get to the next level?
Where you are right now, is you're at the pivotal moment where it's starting to get overwhelming, right? You're wearing all the hats when it comes to the most important part of your business, and really identify what are the things that are non-negotiable that you still have to do no matter what. And you make a list of like, no matter what, this is always going to be my responsibility. And you make that list. And then you look at all the things that happen in your business that are not on that list. You start slowly but surely outsourcing that to either people or systems, right? Because I have this thing, you automate before you delegate. So if I cannot automate the task, then I'm going to delegate it to an employee, a subcontracted company. Like, you need to figure out what are the things that are absolutely non-negotiable that Tiffini has to do these things. No one else can do these things other than Tiffini. There's going to be a list of things. And then there's everything else in your business. Start getting everything else in your business off your plate, because you're not going to experience exponential growth until you have the mind space to do that. The task may not be time consuming, but they're mind consuming. And running your business and scaling your business is a lot more than, putting $10 in a Facebook ad and getting $100 out, right? Because you're going to do that enough to where now you have 500 clients. Man, now you're running a business with 500 active clients. Like, you're not the one doing 500 disputes. You're not the one doing 500 calls a month, but you're the one responsible for all of that. And that responsibility is mostly mental. Like, what do I have to improve on? What do I have to change? What can I do better? How can I make this more efficient? These are the things that as CEO of your company, only you can do. Who else is going to do that for you? Who are you going to hire to make those decisions for your business, right? So your first step is just making that list. What are the non-negotiable things that no one else other than myself has to do? Not can, has to do. And everything else, you start grouping together and you make those into job descriptions, right? I need someone who can, do my billing and make sure that customers are being called when payments failed. And then you put all that into one group. And then you go, I need someone who's going to be checking on the dispute team to make sure that, every client is getting disputed, that the results are coming in and results are not coming in, what's going on. Who can take that off my plate, right? Because these are all things that other people can do. What are the things that no one else can do and only you can do? So that would be, my advice. Make that list. Find what are the non-negotiable things that only you can do, and everything that doesn't make that list, find somebody else for it, And it's slowly but surely, as your business grows, those needs are going to arise. And because the business is growing, there's going to be funds in the business to fund that position, So always horse, then chariot. Never chariot ahead of the horse, because then you're getting yourself in trouble. So that's what I'll say. That, honestly, that's the thing that I have the most difficulty with in business, because I'm a control freak. Like, I hold on to the reins as long as I can, and that hinders my growth. Like, I grow so much faster when I delegate responsibility of things that I don't have to be responsible for. But because I'm a control freak, I'm like, I want something done right. I got to do it myself. That mentality stops my business from growing. And it's so hard. But once you do it and then you see the fruit of it, it starts getting easier and easier and easier. But as a brand new business, it's a scary thought to have. Like, man, I'm going to put this responsibility on somebody else. What if they fail? Well, guess what? They will. But then help them fail forward, help them fail forward, help them fail forward until eventually they're doing it just like you or if not better than you, because that's all they're responsible for. So that's what I would say. I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely helps because right now I'm like, I need a customer service team, which I can, who can answer questions or at least schedule my consultations and things for me. I need a sales team who can help me with the consultations. Where I'm at now is I want to scale, like you said. I want to put more into my advertising, and then I'm getting organic leads as well. Yeah. And so I'm like, but it's still just me doing everything. Like,
yeah,
I don't have the time anymore. Like it's stressful.
So it's time to take imperfect action again.
Yes.
Somebody and training them. You may not hire the right person the first time. That's okay. Let them go. Now you know what not to look for, right? And the next person, and it's all about imperfect action. Just like you did when you started your business, take imperfect action with your next step. Get that help, right? Take that imperfect. Yep. It might not be the right person the first time, but that's okay. Then you at least know what the wrong person looks like and you avoid that.
Right.
Yep. Continue to take imperfect action to success. And that's really the formula to success.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely taking that to heart.
And what is your next short-term goal for your business as far as maybe clients or revenue? Like, what is the next thing that you're trying to accomplish in your business?
The 50-something client, about 10 of them are on a month-to-month payment plan. Mm-hmm. My mistake, my number one mistake, was not building a residual income platform from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because what I was doing, because again, I had that silly mindset. I'm still new, guys. Give me a break. Yeah. Still new. I still had that silly mindset. I don't want to pay. If I was on a monthly payment plan, they may not pay. And then I'm chasing it. And then this and that. And so I was making everybody pay one time, like one-time payment, blah, blah, blah. 55 people later, and I'm like, dang, if I just had all of those people paying monthly, I would have residual income. So now my goal is no more monthly payment plans. No more one-time payment plans unless they're like, I don't want to do monthly. That's the only time I'm going to present the one-time payment plan. Mm-hmm. Everybody from here on forward I'm going to lead with my monthly payment plan. Yep. So my goal is to have, I already said this, my goal is to have 200 people on my monthly payment plan by the end of October.
All right.
I'm already determined that 2 people a day.
As soon as you get there, you let me know, and we're going to get you on a podcast again to talk about that journey, because I am excited to hear that.
200 people in the business on a payment plan by the end of October. And there's a very strategic, there's a reason why I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that the holidays come up in November, December. It slows down because people are putting their money somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if I have that residual foundation built before that, then my money may slow down a bit from the initial deposits.
Yeah.
But my residual income keeps flowing.
We can have a whole other podcast about this, but I almost went bankrupt because I had a 7-figure business that almost went bankrupt in a span of 60 days because I have no residual income. The biggest mistake I've made in my business to date in 11 years of being a business owner is not having a residual income. Literally, like I was making multiple 6 figures every single month off of one-off products. And then all of a sudden, the one-off products just stopped. And I didn't know why. And I'm like, well, I have no control. And because I have no money coming into the business, I almost bankrupt because of that.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful I found that out in the first 6 months. Like, this is not going to work. I got to have this. Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
It is. I refuse to put any product out there that doesn't have a subscription model attached to it. Even if it's $20 a month. I don't care what it is. If I put a product out there, there's going to be a subscription to it. And of course, it delivers value so that it's worth the subscription, right? Like, why do you pay $50 a month for internet? Well, because it's worth it, right? Why do you pay $80 a month on your cell phone? Because it's worth it. So as long as the value is there, people have no problem paying you monthly. People pay for monthly gym memberships that don't even show up, right? So like, as long as it's worth it, they're going to pay. So I'm glad that you finally got that out of your head. No, people are going to pay, and you got that goal. And as soon as you accomplish that goal, we'll get you back on here and we'll talk about that journey.
I'm excited about it. Thank
Tiffini,
you.
thank you so much for joining me in this episode. You dropped some really good gems, some good advice. It was a pleasure. I learned a lot from you just in your resilience in business. And you've inspired me, so I'm sure you're going to inspire our listeners and viewers as well. So thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And we'll get you back on here as soon as you get that 200 client mark, and we'll talk about that journey.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you all on the next episode. Until then, be good. God bless.